Tim, do you have a couple of observations?
Well, and I'll just echo some of what's already been said, but certainly when you talk to my colleagues in the legislature and others, you know, the fissure on this issue is probably as wide as the Atlantic Ocean in terms of opinions and what should and should not be done. And I know Don mentioned earlier that 50% of the people felt that it was bad in terms of the polling data, although I would argue that in D.C. there are some people that work there that would be happy with a 50% approval rating. So, you know, one of the things that's really exciting in the world I live in, because I'm in higher education and education, you know, this week we welcome about 60,000 students back to school. And that's really a great opportunity as we think as part of one of the solutions to help fix these pieces as we move forward. And I just want to echo what's been said too, in terms of, you know, in North Dakota we probably have 2 to 3 job openings per every person who's looking for a job, and those come, as we stated earlier, in agriculture, whether it be dairy farms or other seasonal workers. Certainly we need as many engineers as we can find in the field of medicine because of restrictions on H-2B visas. We have problems there oftentimes to really meet our medical needs, not only in this community, but across the state of North Dakota and into Minnesota, western Minnesota, and certainly in the oil patch where they'll take, you know, as many people essentially as you can find. I think a recent report had they brought in about 6,000 jobs in the last reporting period. And when you think of what that translates to in terms of the billions of dollars that is produced from those businesses, and you know the substantial amount that hits the state coffers. But it's, you know, I think again this is more of a political problem than a policy problem, and you know the problem as the partisanship is fighting over in this corner, the problem just continues to seem to expand over the last 10 years or more. But I also feel, and it would come as no surprise, I think Senator Grinberg's here, that, you know, in my opinion, you know, we just can't just say it's all or none and say from a political standpoint, the politicians, whether they be in the legislatures, governor's office, or at the federal level, but they need to be piecemealed out and really solve what you can, prioritize, and that's what we want to have you be involved in today is really, you know, float some priorities up to the top, whether it's, you know, higher education, STEM, workforce development, work visas, and I think that is a much better solution than waiting around and letting good get in the way of the pursuit of perfect. And I think that would be a major shift change in terms of philosophy, because I think people have grown weary of trying to, you know, get this forward, and I think we're best served if we can, in fact, you know, solve some of the pieces individually, show progress, show victories, and then build momentum as we go forward. You know, unfortunately in politics, you know, more politicians, there's more punishment on the side of if you do something and, you know, it may go well, it may not go well, but it's easier just to stand back and do nothing and then finger point at the bad, you know, how bad things are. And I've been in a number of states lately where there's Ohio or other states when you watch the you know, TV ads and what they focus on when people try to do something and how that came out. You know, it didn't do enough or did, you know, those types of things. So I think we need to stop at, you know, doing that and just really look forward at, you know, in pieces. But, you know, in terms of a comprehensive plan, I think we just need to not go, you know, in that direction. But I think when we look at all these different segments that we can prioritize as our group today and other groups, I think we can, you know, really make that progress. We can achieve those victories because much like to use the sports metaphor, you don't, you know, just get into the Super Bowl on day one. You build towards that. You practice and practice, and you make those progresses. And I think by prioritizing today, by really giving real world examples, talking about what your needs are, we can help better establish, because in many respects this community has really done very well economically, but we need to really take it to the next level, and we cannot take it to the next level unless we have the employees in place to be able to do that. So thank you for coming out today. Thank you, Don, for hosting, and Microsoft for hosting, and the Chicago Council.
Thank you, Tim.